Hello and welcome to Halfway Around the Halo. We're back. Season 8, Episode 7. So much to discuss. I mean, the Halos are atrocious. We're currently sitting at 42 wins on the season. We got so much to unpack right here, right now. Halfway Around the Halo, the LA Angels UK podcast. We've been missing a while. We return. Let's roll the intro and let's get right into it.
Fires the first. The Angels have no hit. The Seattle Mariners racing back to the track. Gone! Big fly for Mike Trout. There it is. Hit number 3,000 for Albert Pujols. Gone! Big fly, Ohtani shot. Walshot leaps up, and he got it. Oh, my! Jared has no hit. The Minnesota Twins. The Angels, world champions.
We're back. That's right. I know you've missed us. It's not just me either. Look at him. Look at Toby. I mean, those of you that are listening, not watching, won't understand, but he's waving at you. Toby, there is so much to unpack, but actually, there's a lot to discuss about your summer as well. So let's get right into that first. How are you? How have you been? What have you been doing? Tell me everything.
Yeah, I'm good. I think the hiatus has been, I don't want to say partly my fault because the Angels are terrible, but I actually have not long come back from 6 weeks in the US. I was in Dallas, so I was fortunate enough to be working on the World Cup this summer. And yeah, as I was based in Dallas, managed to get to a couple of Angels games. The Angels play a series there, so I managed to get to a couple of those games. Managed to see one loss and a win. So I'm a bit of a rare commodity these days, and then managed to make it out to Alabama. So those kind of proper Angels nuts will know that the Angels AA affiliate are the Rocket City Trash Pandas, who play in Madison, Alabama, the AA affiliate, and I managed to go out to a game. So yeah, been proper. As much as the season's depressing, I've tried to make the most of it and get out and see the boys, support the boys, because they need all the help they can get. So how are you? How's your summer? Are you still as locked in as ever, or have you kind of fell off the wagon as we all have?
I mean, it's pretty hard to be as locked in right now, isn't it? What is the point? Genuinely, like when you're trying to decide whether it's another sleepless night watching the Angels miserably fail in the ninth or just getting a proper rest, it's obviously going to be the latter at the moment. It is just incredibly depressing. Like the last decade's been depressing, but this season in particular has been just as bad as it gets. It's not even the fact that the roster's terrible, that there's a lack of promise, the development's awful. It's the fact that even in games where the starting pitching has kept us in it, we've done enough, the bullpen has just been blowing it time after time after time. Obviously, we lead the majors, don't we, in like blown saves in the ninth, and I think we've had something like nine games lost. It's just, and then another few on top of that when you include the 8. It is just horrendous. And actually, I said in our Angels UK group chat, the worst bit is some of these relievers have actually been doing a pretty good job when they're not thrust into high leverage situations. And then as soon as they get into those 8th and 9th innings, it's all just falling to pieces. The Halos sit at 42 and 67, Toby, and this has to be the first 100-loss season in franchise history, doesn't it?
Yeah, just to kind of add on to your point, I saw an incredible stat from friend of the show, Sam Bloom, that Jordan Romano leads the team in saves.
Mental.
And he got DFA'd in May.
He also leads the Rockies in saves, I believe.
He's joint leading the Rockies in saves too, yeah, and he's got like 8 on the season. He leads the Angels in saves. He got DFA'd in May. That tells you how pitiful the Angels have been, not only closing games, but getting to the point where they're winning close games too, because they're not ever in that situation. I feel like if they don't lose 100 games, I don't even know how they will manage that feat. It just seems inevitable at this point, especially knowing, and I'm sure we're going to get onto this, especially knowing what they're hopefully going to do at the trade deadline as well. I feel like they have to lose over 100 games, and that long-lasting record can finally be broken, unfortunately.
Yeah, because how many games are left? Is it 53?
Yeah.
Mental maths, 53 games left. They're on 42 wins. So the chances of them getting to 63 from there, you need 21 wins in your last 53. It just doesn't seem likely, does it? Particularly, when the team should be gutted going forward. Before we get onto any of that, just talk me through, you managed to get to a couple of Halos games. Talk me through game one, for example, what you remember from that day, if anything.
So, game one, I decided to attempt the 9x9x9 challenge. So, for those that don't know, it's when you try and have 9 beers and 9 hot dogs across 9 innings. And I thought, yeah, I'll do it, no problem. I quickly abandoned the hope of the 9 hot dogs because I was like, there's absolutely no way I'm going to get 9 hot dogs done. However, I still managed to get through the 9 beers. And it was a good job I did because the Angels were terrible that day and lost 8-3. And I do not remember a lot from the game, I must admit, because I was so focused on getting down the 9 beers that I basically wasn't paying attention to what was actually going on and just thinking, I need to get another beer down me, need to get another beer down me. So, I couldn't tell you what happened in the game, but I could tell you that I didn't complete the 9x9x9, but I did do a 9x9, which is still a feat in itself, I believe.
That's an expensive feat as well in knowing the ballpark prices for beers. It doesn't come cheaply.
Very much so, yeah, but it was well worth it.
Yeah, just to not have to watch the Angels. It does bring me on to the 9x9x9 to our bet earlier in the season. And quite frankly, I think we're in a position here where both of our pitching options are truly horrendous. But I think we might both have to do the forfeit. I think it's probably the only fair way here is that we have to take it on together because between Kahanowitz before he went down with his ACL, Johnson since he's come back up, Grayson Rodriguez, who's just looks like a shadow of the former pitcher. We haven't had much luck here, have we?
No, I think it was you were the only leader in the clubhouse because Ryan Johnson had, he'd looked all right. And I was like, no, I believe in Kahanowitz. And then he ends up falling off the wagon. I feel like, as soon as we stopped doing the podcast, he started playing terribly. So maybe it's our fault. Obviously, he's now done for the year. Ryan Johnson's come back up and he looks better than he did before, which, wasn't really much of a standard. But yeah, Grayson Rodriguez, he still has a velocity, but that's all you could say about his pitching, really. So yeah, I think either our bet is void or we have to both complete one or complete one between us or kind of, I feel like completing one between us would be fair shakes, but one each it'd be quite a challenge.
Or what we do is we nominate someone. I'm thinking maybe Phineas to do it for us. I think that probably seems like the fairest thing to do here is to step up to the plate, our guy Phineas.
Yeah,
he'll get it done.
I think that is very fair.
Angels community.
Yeah, he will. He won't let us down as much as our pitchers have.
I know a few of the lads from the UK group have been out there or going out there. Shout out to Charlie Selwood, who is going for his first ever Angels game. I think he said in DC.
Yeah, he's off to watch them play the Nats. Yeah,
which fair play to you. I mean, going to see your first Angels game in person is always special, regardless of how the team is and how they're probably going to be doing by then. But yeah, shout out to him. But
who's going to be playing at that point as well?
I'll always remember Caleb Cowett's first ever home run for the Halos. When you're there, when you experience like greatness, you never forget it. And maybe Charlie will get some Angels prospect coming up and doing something special. Let's get on to the current day Halos, and trade deadline is approaching. I think there's loads for us to unpack that we haven't done yet. But firstly, the trade we do know about, Logan O'Hoppe, Chase Silseth, gone to the Rangers. Maybe you can give us a bit of a scouting report since you've been in Dallas for 6 weeks on the Rangers prospect coming back. But I mean, for me, just really, really sad. Like, not sad about the trade in general. I mean, I think Silseth has proven like he's a pretty average reliever, never going to start again. He was fine, but he's out of contract in the SAR. O'Hoppe, again, it's just such a shame. He was potentially the future of the franchise just a couple of years ago, and he has been now 2 years where he just doesn't look like a major leaguer. He obviously something has gone wrong in his development. He had a concussion again and hasn't really looked the same since. A bit like Silseth, actually. I think they both had similar things. But it really just sums up the Angels generally, doesn't it? That someone that came to us with so much promise was a big piece in that Marsh trade, who Marsh has now kicked on at the Phillies, and O'Hoppy's just regressed and regressed. It's such a shame that we've had to send him away for a bag of balls because they just want him out of it. But it's also strange, isn't it, that we never sent him down. We never sent him to AAA to try and work on things himself, which is exactly what the Rangers have done. As soon as they've got him, they've sent him down. We never did that. We never said, look, Logan, we really like you. Like, you're a great guy in our clubhouse, loads of potential, all of the tools are there, but like, it's not working out right now. Let's go to Salt Lake, take you out the firing line, take the pressure off, and let's see if you can figure some things out. We never did that. And does that not just typify the Angels and how much they must think of the development in the minor league teams, that they weren't even prepared to send him to Salt Lake and that environment and to let him try and figure things out there? It just seems a bit odd to me, personally.
Yeah, so I think the only good thing about the guy coming back is his name is Angel. So, you know, I guess if you are a Spanish speaker, it'd be Angel, but you know, Angel for the generic population. So yeah, I think he's just a lottery ticket. He's 19 years old. Been playing a lot of third base in low A for the Rangers. So initial conversations are that he's going to stick there, but also has flexibility to move across the infield. So it remains to be seen whether they've kind of what they see in him. Yeah, Silseth actually has 4 more years of control and RP has 2. So it kind of begs the question even further why they've kind of shipped them off for what is essentially a lottery ticket on a kid who may or may not become something. O'Hoppy, unfortunately, was him for Brandon Marsh was 1-for-1, and Brandon Marsh all-star starter this year. So it just shows kind of trajectories that their careers have taken. And yeah, it's a shame because we were hyping him up 2 years ago. We were hoping to have a bounce back year last year. We're hoping to have a bounce back year this year. And he's just not been able to piece anything together. He's just not been a good hitter at the plate, and he's not been good defensively behind the plate either. So yeah, at that point you say, yeah, option him. But then the problem is the Angels' catching depth is so thin at the minute with, at the time where they could have sent him down, Rivero and Darno both on the IL. So then you kind of run the risk of sending him down, calling up a catcher or signing a catcher as if with Heineman, and then you're stuck in a bit of mud when they come back. Obviously, Darno came back the day that O'Hoppy got sent, so he'll be kind of back providing depth for Heineman, which is, you know, it's quite depressing when a free agent signing basically off the sofa in Heineman has replaced the guy who should have been kind of the part of the Angels' future young core. So it is a real shame, but I really do, much like Brandon Marsh, I very much kind of look out for him and pull for him and hope that he does well at the Phillies. I'm glad he's doing well. So I very much hope the same for Logan O'Hoppy, even though the Rangers are a division rival. I really do hope that he does find it, and maybe going down to AAA is exactly what he needs. So yeah, I do really, really hope that he can put it together and actually have a solid career. It's just a shame that he couldn't make it happen at the Angels.
It is a shame, and I wish him well too, although I don't think we can put all the blame on the Angels. I mean, clearly it's one of those cases where, yes, the Angels have some of the blame. O'Hoppy himself definitely will take some of it. I heard, was it Trumbo saying that he thought that the advice he was getting in the off-season wasn't right as well? Who knows? I mean, it's just a shame. Thing is, I take your point about keeping him up because of the lack of depth. But honestly, you can sign a backup catcher that can give you at least defensive catching ability for nothing off the street. It's pretty easy to do. When O'Hoppy wasn't giving you any offense and 0 defense, negative defense, in fact, what is the point of keeping him up there? It's a shame he's gone. I think it's the right decision to ship him off. I just think the Angels should have done more to try and get him back right, not in the major league team, but in the minors, since we had the options to use. But he's gone. I think this is the start of a big period for the Angels. It seems like ever since the GM change, the rhetoric coming out of the Halos has shifted. I think they're very much more open. I think we're hearing a lot more about what the plans are. We had a very different draft where it seemed like the scouting director actually got to run the draft and not just what Perry wanted all the time. And so we're looking now at the rumors we've got. Let's touch on these in a minute, but like we heard yesterday, Joe Adell, Jorge Soler with the Yankees, the Phillies, hearing some names there. Zach Neto, you're hearing lots about Tampa Bay. You're hearing lots about the Dodgers. You're hearing lots about Boston with Zach Neto. Lots of teams involved there. Then you're hearing about Reid Detmers, again, Tampa Bay, the Dodgers. Could go anywhere. I've heard the White Sox mentioned. Same with Jose Soriano. I mean, literally, for a team that is really struggling and doesn't have much talent, when you list them who's available and you look at the lists of trade deadline, the Angels have like 3 of the top 5 available pieces, I think, in Neto, Detmers, and Soriano. And then even Joe Adell, who, yes, he's flawed, but he's now, the power's starting to come around. He's now slowly regaining that. I think he's up to 16 home runs. He leads the Angels in hits. He's actually second in qualified in average, which just shows how bad the Angels have been, because it's only Nolan Schanuel at 280 and then everyone else is like 240 or below. But that's a lot of pieces that could be going. I don't know where you want to start with that. But maybe if we talk about Zach Neto, who I think would be the biggest shock, the biggest disappointment, but potentially bringing back the biggest pieces, maybe him or Detmers.
I don't think he brings in the biggest haul because he is very flawed. He looks the part when he plays defensively, but he doesn't actually play that good defense. He makes like the highlight plays, but then he'll make calamitous errors, as we've seen countless times. So I think the underlying metrics, which we know are so prevalent in baseball when you're looking at trading and kind of looking at values, they don't help him in that regard. He pretty much leads the league in strikeouts and like the entire major league rather than just the American League. He's very, very near the top there. So he is flawed. The only good thing is he has several years less of control. The Red Sox explored a trade for him in the offseason before coming into this year, which the Angels rebuffed quickly. So it remains to be seen whether they'll kind of reignite their interest. And they do definitely have a spot there for him. But yeah, I think Detmers would probably bring the greatest return, but Neto is an interesting one that if they move it again, it'll be another one that I'm like, I'll be really sad that he's gone, but because he was the catalyst of the team pretty much. But he looks in his own head a lot of the time now. The last kind of few weeks or so, he just looks like he's in a funk and he can't get out of it either. So yeah, it will be another one that I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think you're being a bit harsh on Neto, right? And I hear what you're saying, but I do think you're being extremely harsh on him. I'm not sure shortstop is his position. I think if he moved to second or third, he would be a better defender than he is at short. I think that's fair enough. His defensive game hasn't improved much. I think his offensive performances, whilst yes, the strikeouts are really high, he's been thrust into a role in a struggling Angels team. He's still on 19 home runs, 14 stolen bases. He's going to be at 2020 probably again before the end of the year. There are very few shortstops that have done it consistently to start their major league careers like Zach Neto has. You look at the stats, they do stack up against the very best at the position. So I do think, and with the 3 years of control left, I do think he should bring back some important pieces. Like we're talking premium prospect in your top 100. I think it has to be done. Like Boston, for example, Franklin Arias has been named. I think you would only do the trade if you're getting someone like that in return. I don't think the Halos need to make the move unless they are generally getting pieces that are going to make an impact in 2 years' time, say 2-3 years' time, when this hopefully rebuilt Angels team can start coming through as the White Sox have done. Detmers, I do kind of agree with you though. Detmers has the potential to bring back a bigger haul as well, particularly because the teams that really need Detmers line up incredibly well in terms of prospects. Tampa Bay, we talk about a lot. They have premium catching prospects. They just generally have a very good farm system that we could tap into. The Dodgers are the other one. I mean, the Dodgers have resource after resource, don't they? It's just whoever we get back, hopefully, would probably slot right into our top 5. So I think the teams that are contending and the teams that are interested in the players that we do have definitely offer us opportunities to get better in something that we've been crying out for the Angels to do for a long time. I guess the frustration is we've asked them to do this years ago. We're now a few years down the line, nothing's changed. We're trying it now. It's going to be another painful few years to go as you enter this rebuild period and what you do next. And I guess, as you say, I mean, I would be really sad to see Zach Neto go. I'd be even sadder to see Reid Detmers go, because I am going to let you into a little secret.
Go on, reveal your secrets.
If you're listening now, if you could just cover your ears for me, because I don't want to. But
don't tell anyone. But yeah, tell me.
Keep this. This is halfway around the Halo listeners only. I was actually there when Reid Detmers threw a no-hitter for the Halos. I was in the stadium.
Yeah. You were in the stadium?
I was in the stadium.
Wasn't Reid Detmers a rookie that year too?
It's just incredible, honestly. I was there and just special day. But yeah, I tried to keep it on the DL. I don't need to talk about it too much. But on a personal level,
wow.
Yeah, just me and Adam Rank at the end of the game, just hugging outside the Big A. What more could you want? So if Reid goes, that would another piece of this fandom and this love. And I think that is the sad thing. All of these like special memories and special moments are few and far between now. Like it's harder to come by. And slowly as you ship them out, it's getting tougher. And I was thinking earlier, like if they do trade Zach Neto, every single one of the players that I have had do the intros for halfway around the Halo is going to be gone. So like in the past, we've obviously Joe Madden started it. I've had Zach Neto, Taylor Ward, Carlos Estevez. Like I've had all these guys. They're just traded away. I'm left with nothing. So sad times.
Maybe you're the curse.
Maybe it's possible.
If he goes, then maybe
but I did see a no-hitter, so I don't think I can.
Yeah, true. I mean, I think we discovered that I am partially the curse.
Yeah.
I posted in our UK Angels group the results of the Angels since I became a supporter of the team, and they've basically gotten worse every year. The year where I first when I went to my first game, they kind of finished I think 82 and 80, or maybe around there. And then ever since then, they've just got progressively worse. So to everyone listening, I am sorry that I am potentially the curse. However, that will not prevent me from still supporting the Angels, because they are my team. And if you're a stubborn Brit like we are, you know that you just can't change teams. There was one of the best ads that I saw in the World Cup, actually, was the Lays ad with Will Ferrell and David Beckham. And Will Ferrell's just like, oh, come on, just change team. It's fine. Jump on the bandwagon. Like, just change team. Who cares? And all kind of the Brits in there were just laughing at this ad, because it was like, well, everyone in Britain knows that you don't change teams ever. So, unfortunately, I am rooting for the Angels. And if they're cursed forever because of my fandom, then so be it.
Yeah, which is entirely possible. But you've stuck with Coventry for so many years.
Hey, and it's back to the promised land.
Exactly. 3 weeks. 3 weeks time. Arsenal away.
Welcome to the Premier League.
Exactly. Yeah. So, what do you think about someone like Soriano, who, when we were doing the pod early in the season, was Cy Young potential, has slipped off quite considerably, although still a good pitcher. He's still having a very good season. But would you trade him now? Like, I can't work out whether you'd be getting good value for him because there's a lack of starting pitching or good starting pitching on the market, or we're only sort of scratching the surface of what he could be. And actually, hopefully, with another off-season of work and another coming back fresh next year, you might actually get an even better Soriano consistently that would then be worth more, because I assume still has significant control.
Soriano's got 2 years, I believe. So he's got this year and then one more year after next. So there's no need for the Angels to trade this year. I do think that you could get a very good return for him, because coming into the season, he had a brand new pitch mix, added the four-seamer a lot heavier to kind of change the eye level with the power sink that we know we've got, which is one of the reasons why he was so dominant. And then I think when teams began figuring that out, that's when he had a horrendous June, and now he's picked it back up coming into July, coming into the end of July. He's picked it back up again and has put together a couple of decent starts. So I do think that if his June would have carried on into now, I don't think you trade him. You kind of just go, you know what, we'll keep it. He was great to start the year, just hasn't been since. So, but because he is starting to play well again, I do think you can get a decent amount back for him. Teams might look at the 2 Tommy Johns that he's had and gone, well, he's not durable enough. Obviously, he's probably going to pitch a career high in innings this year as well. Would you then go, can he make it through to October without breaking down, or do you kind of look after him? So there are all those questions to consider, but I do think you could get something for him, and I do think he would be very fun to watch play October baseball.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think he would too. He'd be on a better team. He would be better. I mean, quite frankly. But I think that's the same for a lot of these players, and I think that's the bit that is sad. That you slot Detmers into a different rotation, Soriano a different rotation, Neto into a better team. I can guarantee he is back to the Neto we know he can be. And I think that's the bit that's sad. We haven't even talked about Mike Trout now, who's back, and he's just there now, isn't it? And even still, they talk about Mike Trout trades. Mike Trout doesn't want to be traded. He doesn't want to leave Newport Beach. He doesn't want to leave the Angels. Like, he's not going anywhere. But also, the decline is sad, isn't it? He's still someone you want to watch in the lineup every night, and you know that he can do something. Every time he gets to the plate, it could be out of the stadium. But at the same time, watching the injuries pile up and just seeing the player that he is now versus the player he was just 3-4 years ago, yeah, quite sad, I think, as an Angels fan generally. And another thing that goes to my point earlier of these special moments are few and far between, the things that like really bind us to the team and really keep us tuning in at 3 a.m. and coming back time after time. They're just diminishing all the time. And it's really sad. And I think they'll continue to do so under this owner, as we talk about all the time. Whilst Moreno's there, we're just going to feel this disconnect grow.
Yeah, I mean, as long as the fans get good value, because that's what they care about most, though, right? So, you know.
Shout out the tarps off, by the way.
Oh, fantastic.
That's been the highlight of the season so far for me.
Yeah, hearing them kind of on a broadcast always brings a smile to my face, just hearing them chant sell the team, etc. It's great. I managed to see, obviously they were all Rangers fans, but when I was watching the Angels Rangers, there was basically a whole entire section was all tarps off, and I thought it was hilarious. So no, it is quite fun, and no, I'm glad that what began as a bit of fun has turned into a protest, a nightly kind of protest at Angel Stadium, and I do think it is. Hopefully, it kind of hits through, but you know, he's tried to sell the team once and pulled out of that. So you know, I think, I don't know. Either way, back to Mike Trout. Yeah, it is sad seeing it. He can still leg out a single, but he's kind of having to do that more and more because there's more soft contact, there's more rolling over on pitches, and he's having to try. But at least the one thing you can say with him is he will give his max effort to try and leg out a single pretty much every time. Where, as you see a few guys, I mean, I was watching the game the other day when there was 3 or 4 other guys who could have tried to leg out a single and just kind of gave up and didn't really care. So at least you can say with Mike Trout, when he is on the field, he will give his all because baseball's pretty much all he knows, the Angels all he knows. And yeah, I feel like for every year that Mike Trout is in the major leagues, there'll be talks about him being traded to the Phillies because he's from New Jersey, kind of big, kind of Philly native, kind of like South New Jersey, so kind of close to Philly. So yeah, there's always going to be talk about him and Philadelphia until he retires. So, you know, maybe one year it happens, but I can't see it happening because, like you say, he's happy. So he just doesn't want to go. I would love to see him win a World Series, even get to the World Series, which just won't happen at the Angels, I don't think, in his career. But I would love to be surprised and actually see him. I want to see him play at least one more playoff game for the Angels. And I feel like then I'll be like, you know what? You've played a playoff game. Now I can see you leave. I don't know.
It's so depressing that he had 3 playoff games to the Angels and that's it. He's been in the league, 16 years or something ridiculous?
Yeah, longer than that. I think it was 2009 was his debut season, was it? So this is his like 17th season in the majors.
Just yeah, we don't need to dissect Trout and the failures of the franchise for him, but it is just disappointing. I guess if we're looking for any positives, Vaughn Grissom looks pretty good recently. He's hitting like 260 odds, 7 homers, a couple of big home runs. It looks like he could be an important depth piece going forward. Maybe one of those reclamation projects that's actually worked. Peraza started the season really well and has slid away a bit, but again, not bad depth. Josh Lowe came back up from his time in the minors and looked much improved. Probably someone, particularly if we're selling off, that's going to stick around. We have control of him for next year, don't we? I think so. He'll stick around. Nolan Shanuel, another one that actually he's never going to be the prototypical first baseman, but he's the only Angels hitter that is an actual hitter that wants to get on base, that wants to hit for average, like nothing special. And we're not going to go over the top with praise, but fair play to him. He's been pretty hot since the break, and long may that continue. But yeah, I'm running out really. Some of the relievers, I mean, we didn't talk about in terms of trades. I think Zephyr probably goes. He's been pretty good this year. Sam Backman's had a reasonable year again until you go into high leverage.
Until the last week, yeah.
Yeah, all of them the same. Just, I mean, why Kirby Yates is still on the roster, I just don't know. But that's my upbeat, positive outlook, if I can. Anyone? Oh, I mean, there is actually one genuine, and that's Urena, right? And he has been exceptional, like up there for AL Rookie of the Year, I think. Well, should be anyway. He won't be, but he should be because he plays for the Angels. But he has been genuinely outstanding since he came back up. But aside from that, yeah, tough to find some positives.
Yeah, I mean, to double up with Walbert Urania, I was fortunate enough to pick him up in our fantasy league. So I've been reaping the rewards of his good starts. So yeah, no complaints there. He's just been pitching consistently well and kind of going a little bit under the radar because the Angels have been so terrible in a lot of the games that he's pitched in, and he's done well. The bullpen's either let him down or the offense has let him down. So he's not actually got like many wins on his record, but he's actually pitched really well, which is the same can be said for a lot of the Angel starters that they've pitched well, but they've just been let down either with a offense who's asleep or a reliever or a bullpen just throwing meatballs to guys and just going, here you go, here's a hit, here's a walk, here's a hit batter. Like, it's just, it really is depressing. I feel like after 7 innings, the Angels might have such a better record. So maybe we should bring back the COVID rule of 7-inning doubleheaders and exclusively play doubleheaders for the Angels, and they'll be all right.
I mean, that is probably the best suggestion you've ever had on here. I think the Angels would be a much better proposition if that was the case. I just checked that fantasy league you're talking about. Who is top of that league? You're currently in second place with a record of 13-3, representing the Texas Rangers. Boo!
I just got told to pick a team that's not in there.
However, your LA Angels UK is currently 15-1 for the season. So whilst the fortunes on the field may not be great, the ones off it are doing fantastic.
Was the one L you took not to yours truly?
Well, yeah, I had to give you.
I believe it was.
Yeah, of course. That's the generous host I am. I had to keep you coming back for more. Just offer a little bit. Just wait until the playoffs, and then you'll struggle.
Well, is the way things are going, it will be you and I in the finals. So
yeah.
hopefully it is that way, and we can have our own World Series.
Well, yeah.
Maybe that can resolve our bet. The loser of if we both make it to the finals, the loser does the 9x9x9.
Well, I've already got Phineas doing it for me, so you can nominate. Someone else. Who are you nominating?
I nominate you. So there you go. Yeah, that wasn't not in the rules. So
fine. Do you have any Halos or Hell No's?
I honestly do not have any Halos and Hell No's. I can think of some off the top of my head, and we can just go for it and absolutely wing it.
All right, you've got 10 seconds to think of one. Just
okay.
One Halo or Hell No today. That's all we're getting.
I can string off three easily. The Angels will get at least one top 100 prospect by in the trade deadline. Like they will kind of get one.
Halo, for sure. I think we get two.
Two. Bold prediction. Bold prediction. Um, let's see. Joe Adell remains a Halo.
Ooh. Hell no. I think we will trade him. I think the time has come. I think they will get an offer that they don't want to refuse for a player that's only going to get more expensive. And I don't think they want to sign long term.
No, I do feel like the time to trade him would have been last year.
It would, yeah.
And then because this year it showed that was more of a flash in the pan than it was a sign of things to come because he's just regressed pretty much in between what he did last year and what he's been the rest of his career, which is kind of between being below average and just hitting the ball really hard, really high, really far. And he's not really hitting the ball hard or high, but he can still swing the bat really fast. So there is that.
Great bat speed.
Yeah. Okay, there you go. Walbert Urania comes top 3 in AL Rookie of the Year.
I actually haven't even looked at who else is in the running. So I'm just going to go Halo and just be a homer and just say he deserves it. He should.
I wouldn't even be able to tell you who any other notable AL rookies.
Me neither.
Should I have a look? AL.
Shows what we know. Oh, there are actually quite a few. And I don't think...
Oh, it's going to be Kevin McGonigal, for sure.
Yeah, there's actually quite a lot in the running here that he's got absolutely no chance of making the top 3.
Yeah, no, it's definitely going to be Kevin McGonigal who's going to win it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chase DeLauter, Murakami for the White Sox as well. So, yeah, maybe...
offense, though. It's disgrace. Give me that pitching.
I do feel like...
Pitching wins championships.
Yeah, I would say so. I do feel like the Japanese players shouldn't be rookie eligible because they've been playing pro ball for like at least kind of 4
You weren't saying that. You weren't saying that when Shohei was winning it. So
I wasn't, but actually, I kind of was. I was like, he's not really a rookie, is he? Although I don't know if I was a fan of the team then. Who knows? Yeah. But yeah, I feel like we mentioned Detmers to the Dodgers. Would the fan base completely revolt if we did a deal with the Dodgers and
I think the fan base needs to be smarter, and I think the fan base are getting smarter. You take the best prospects on offer. The Dodgers have those. Let's get the deal done. Let's trade everything to the Dodgers. Who cares at this point, right? Where are we at to? I'm going to cut this off because you know what? We don't want to talk about any Angels baseball that's coming up. We have a series this weekend, but like
against some opponent.
I think it's the Brewers. Good luck to the Halos.
Oh, is the Miz pitching? That'll be an interesting one.
Yeah, he is. He's pitching Sunday.
He's going to get 17 strikeouts.
Only 17? Oh, he's only doing 5 innings.
Wouldn't he need to do 6 to get 17?
Yeah, we need 6. He would need 6. Anyway,
if he goes 5 and gets 17 strikeouts, I will watch that game.
Incredible. On that note, this has been Halfway Around the Halo. We're going to come back straight after the trade deadline to just touch on what the Angels actually do. But until then, go hit subscribe, go like, go do everything you want because we want to come back. And all the best. Go Halos.